most modern women today are hands down the most undesirable females to ever exist in the history, and I'm saying that, in the history of mankind, right? All of these woke modern women you see today are without a doubt the most undesirable females that you would not wish on your worst enemy. And I am not even kidding when I say that. Right? And when I say modern women, let me just go ahead and clarify, as I always do, that most modern women tend to be the DG. Basically women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who are still single. No guy ever put a ring on that finger. They're just out there forever single, riding the carousel, sleeping with dozens and dozens and dozens of different men, just a myriad and assortment of different men in their beds, constantly just up inside of them, blasting them in their vagina, blasting them in the face, blasting them on their tits. There's a reason I call these chicks the DG, right? They're the DG. And unfortunately, most of these chicks who are over 30 and still single are what we call today as modern women, right? And there's other terminology for these women as well. I hear a lot of guys in the community lately calling them leftover women. That's another term you could use, leftover women. But for the most part, that is what I mean when I say modern women. Basically, these still single and over 30, these women who are still single and over 30, over 40, over 50, that are basically living alone with cats, right? And they have this growing resentment and growing hatred and anger towards men, because they just were never able to lock down that high value guy that so many of their younger peers are able to lock down so easily because they're still in their prime, right? Whereas most modern women are no longer in their prime, right? That's why they cling on and glom on to these feminist idealisms, telling them that you don't need a man, girl. You're strong, independent, empowered. You don't need a man. And it's gotten to the point where you don't even need to say that because no men want you, right? No men even want to be around you beyond just sex. And even then, a lot of guys are passing these girls up. It's like, it's just not worth it, girl. You're just too freaking loud. You're just too obnoxious. You're just too rude. You're just too classless. And I don't need to deal with you. It's not worth it to go through these hoops and barrels and put up with your attitude just so I could get inside your vagina. Your vagina is not made of gold. It's not worth it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze, son. I mean, to go even beyond that, I've never heard a single man out there say anything good about modern women today outside of guys who are complete simps. Basically guys who are still blue pill, guys who are still living in the matrix, guys who have not yet been red pilled. I've never heard a single normal, healthy man ever say anything positive about a modern woman. Ever. You know, in most cases, a lot of these guys just don't say anything, right? They just don't say a word. They're like, no comment, right? But obviously guys like myself who are a little more vocal, who are a bit more real, we have no problem saying what is, right? We have no problem just being real and calling them out for what they are. But the truth is, most men today cannot stand to be alone with a modern woman for more than 10 seconds. Right? I mean, these chicks are constantly narcissistically bragging about themselves, bragging about their jobs, their careers, their goals, just complete self-importance, constantly spouting feminist dogma, feminist talking points. And it gets to the point where it's just unbearable to be around them, right? It's just unbearable. I mean, even the times where I've approached a young girl, right? And this happened recently, but I've been in a lot of these same situations where I'll approach a young girl and she'll happen to be out with like coworkers, and usually her coworkers are a bit older than her. They're these chicks who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. They're still single. They're the DG. They're these modern women, right? these chicks will like without fail will hate on me because I'm ignoring them and I'm focused on their young hot coworker who is at the peak of her sexual attractiveness, the peak of her prime, right? Whereas they're not, right? And because they're not, and they're still single, and they're out, they're out here celebrating some work event, they get angry if like a high value guy like myself, does not pay attention to them, right? And I say high value because I'm successful, right? What can I say? My business is successful. I keep myself in relatively good shape, and I have a large following on social media, so pretty successful, right? And I feel that I deserve younger women because there's an even exchange of value. It's like this chick is at the peak of her sexual prime, and I'm at the peak of my I'm at the peak of my social status right now. So there's an equal exchange. Whereas if I go for a woman who's my own age, who's past her prime and is now the DG and a quote unquote modern woman, no, there's no equal exchange because she has nothing to offer me. She can't offer me her looks. She can't offer me really anything, any youth, any fertility, any reproductive value. Really, what can she offer me? Conversation? I could get that from my guy friends. I don't need her for that. So there's really no exchange in value there. This is why I tell guys to never date women your own age, especially if you are in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. You do not need to settle for women your own age. You could get women who are 10 to 15 years younger at minimum, okay? At minimum. And if you're in my program, 7 Months to Mastery, you could get women much younger than that, right? Assuming they're over 18. That's the legal age here in California. You could get women much younger than that. You do not need to settle for these modern women, these former hotties, these damaged goods in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, just because you think that, you think that you can't get a woman who's younger when you can, okay? You can. I've had many guys in my program who are just very average guys, very average looking, very average height, very average job, able to land some pretty hot women who are at minimum 10 to 15 years younger, at minimum. And the more skilled these guys are, the deeper they are in my program, they're able to go beyond that, right? I mean, right now I have a guy who's 49, he's dating a 20-year-old. Like it's nobody's business. And she is hot. She is smoking hot. She's 20 years old and she's totally into this guy. Can't stop blowing up his phone. And what that did for him is, because he's never done that before, he told me that it really opened the Pandora's box for him. And he was able to really see that, shit, I can date younger women. And this is a guy who used to date women 45, 46, 47. I got him off of that drug. And now I've gotten him onto the 20-somethings. And now he sees the light. He was like, man, I was an idiot. I was a fool. And now he's kicking himself because he's like, every chick I dated that was my age was spouting this feminist bullshit, constantly debating me on every little thing, never showing me respect, never acting feminine, always acting masculine, always trying to take the lead in the relationship, never let me finish a sentence, always like talking down to me. And he was like, finally, I'm getting girls in their early 20s. And you know what? These chicks are just as mature. They're super feminine and they're fun to be with. And he's like, dude, I owe you big time. And I'm like, nah, dude, you're fine. You're fine. That's my job, is to help guys, right? That's my job. It's my job. But the point of this coaching video is the fact that modern women today, make no mistake about it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Most modern women today are pretty terrible people. They're just terrible people. They're terrible people. They live miserable lives, and they have horrible role models, right? If you look at the role models, a lot of these so-called modern women, they're following people like Miley Cyrus, Cardi B, Emma Watson, Madonna, all these other woke feminists. And this is where they're being brainwashed with this retarded ideology to think that, men suck, I don't need a man, and I'm going to freeze my eggs, and, I'm strong, I'm empowered, I'm independent. Oh, until I'm on the Titanic, then I'm a woman again. I'm just a helpless little woman when I'm on the Titanic. But once I'm off the Titanic, no, I'm strong, I'm empowered, I'm Wonder Woman. No, okay? No, doesn't work that way. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, it's hilarious to me how these chicks preach about how strong they are, how independent they are, yet in the same breath they constantly want special privileges in the workplace, in the military. They want forced gender quotas for companies, large corporations. They want to infiltrate male-dominated professions, right? And it's like, and the funny thing too about that is you notice these feminists will only go after careers and professions that are like executive level. Ooh, I want to be in the boardroom with the CEOs. I want to be a C-level executive. But they're never preaching about they're always like, oh, there's so much inequality in corporate America. But how come they never preach about the inequality when it comes to custodians, when it comes to truck drivers, when it comes to manual labor, when it comes to construction work, when it comes to, doing dangerous jobs? Yeah, how come there it's like predominantly male? How come you're not complaining about that? How come you don't want to be taking those jobs? Oh, I see. You only want the cool jobs. You only want the safe, cushy jobs where you have a nice corner office, right? The ones that are high paying, those are the only ones you care about. You don't care about doing no manual labor. You don't want to be drilling holes in the street at 3 a.m. in the snow, do you? Do you? Because it's mostly primarily men who is doing that shit. But you're not worried about the gender quotas there. No. I just want the safe, cushy, C-level executive type jobs where I get paid lots of money to take time off to have kids and to go to Joey's soccer practice and baseball. No, that's what I want to do. I don't have time for all these like drilling holes in the street. No, I don't want to mess up my hands, right? So you see the hypocrisy when it comes to these quote unquote modern women. Tons and tons of hypocrisy, fellas. So much hypocrisy, it's insane. And when she's not complaining, when these modern women are not busy complaining about gender quotas and infiltrating male-dominated professions, when they're not complaining about that as strong, independent, empowered women, when they're not complaining about that, what are they doing? They're spending the rest of their energy and the rest of their day basically trying to convince themselves as well as other people about how happy they are, about how I don't need a man. Look at my life. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm happier than ever, right? I've seen a number of these like modern women, right, which are basically like woke feminists, single women over 30, never locked down the high value guy. These modern women on these TED Talks and all these other leftist channels and like HuffPo and The View talking about, oh, I'm so happy. I'm just happy. It's like I see these girls constantly trying to convince everyone, including themselves, about how happy they are. It's like, I don't know. I mean, most happy people are not out there trying to convince other people how happy they are. And beyond that, these girls are constantly trying to recruit other women to join her in her life of loneliness, unfulfillment, and emptiness. These women are constantly out there just trying to recruit other women into this, being these strong, empowered women who don't need a man because we're happy. Look at us. We're happy. We're happy. We're happy. It's like, no, girl, you look pretty miserable. You look pretty unhappy to me. I would not want to trade places with you, right? But unfortunately, too many women buy into this shit, right? Because unfortunately, most women just kind of go with the flow. They go along to get along, right? Whereas most men can spot bullshit a mile away. But unfortunately, most women, they just go with the bullshit, even if back in the back of their heads they know it's bullshit. They'll just go along with it because they don't want to offend anybody. They don't want anybody to feel bad, and so they go along with it even at the detriment of ruining their own romantic lives. They're ruining their own dating lives, ruining their own opportunity to land a high value guy. They will go along with this dogma, this bullshit. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. But this is why I tell you guys, look out for these quote-unquote modern women. These are, again, hands down, the most undesirable females to ever exist in the history of mankind, in the history of human reproduction. I mean, again, outside of simps, beta orbiters, manginas, and white knights, most normal thinking men want nothing to do with these modern women, right? They want nothing to do with these leftover women. Nothing to do with them at all. They just can't stand to be around them. They don't even want to be friends with them. They don't want to be in any vicinity of them. You know, besides the fact that they're unbearable to be around, but these are the same type of chicks who are constantly looking to me too your ass. They're constantly looking to just harm you as a man just because you're a man. Make no mistake, these chicks do not like men. Even though they're still dating men, they do not like men, right? They hate what masculinity represents. They hate traditionalism. They hate the nuclear family. They're constantly trying to tear it apart. They're constantly trying to encourage single motherhood, right? They're calling housewives oppressed. It's like, girl, that housewife is 1,000 times happier than you will ever be in your entire miserable life. I promise you that. Right? That housewife is 1,000,000 times happier than you will ever be in your miserable little life, trying to convince everyone else about how happy you are. So make no mistake, guys, these modern women, leftover women, damaged goods, still single over 30, all the same thing, okay? All the same thing. These chicks are the type of toxic females that no guy wants to be around, even to have sex with, because the juice just ain't worth the squeeze. It's just not worth putting up with her yap, putting up with her mouth, putting up with her braggadocio about herself, her self-righteousness, her virtue signaling, her smugness, her snotty little remarks at you. I could go on and on. These most modern women today, I'm not going to say all, I'm just going to say most. Most modern women today are just terrible people. They're just awful, awful, horrible people that you would not wish on your worst enemy. And with that said, as always, drop your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think about tonight's topic, tonight's coaching video. Let me know what you think about modern women, and share it here with the community. I love to read your comments and share it with the tribe so we could educate other men. We could red pill other men, wake other men up. Drop your comments below. And until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel as well. Also, hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube, and especially whenever I live stream. A lot of you guys complain like, oh, I missed the live stream. Why didn't you tell me? It's like, dude, you gotta hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified like that anytime I live stream, right? So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And for you guys who want to support all of my incredible work I am sharing with you guys, my incredible coaching lessons I'm teaching you guys, all this red pill, gold pill, platinum pill, diamond pill content that I'm sharing with you guys, the best way to support me, best way to show you love me is to jump in my monthly online coaching program, 7 months to mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students out there are cold approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, we are making things happen every single week, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what new presidential administration is taking over, no matter what new virus is taking over, doesn't matter. We are out there making things happen and living our lives to the absolute fullest and just meeting the best looking women on the planet. I want you to join us. I want you to become one of us. I want you to learn this stuff. And right now, the first month is only $1, right? Still only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me. So take advantage of it. And this is the absolute best way to support my work. So all you need to do to get signed up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.